So a lot of times people, especially nowadays in America, think, well, this is all political. It must be someone's in one party and someone's in another party. Does any of this have to do with politics, or does it really straddle the political spectrum?
Oh, I absolutely think that it definitely has to do with politics. It has to do with the local politics in OSU and the college, as well as Stillwater, but then it brings in state politics as well, with a lot of prominent people, some of your top level government people. If you look at our grand jury petition, we have the entire Supreme Court justice. We have some of your top government officials, including the AG, on there, as well as most of your court system there in Payne County.
Well, I always know that, especially with the Epstein story, people like to harness the word pedophile and jump all over it and blame the other party. So I just wondered if any of this has to do with Republican versus Democrat, or if this truly is just moms and dads who are in positions of power who say enough is enough.
Tell you what this has got to do. The lady's blindfolded. The lady of justice blindfolded. We're not supposed to be looking at politics. It shouldn't matter gender, race, political preference. That shouldn't matter. What matters is in Payne County, it's easier to find Bigfoot than an honest judge in Payne County. And so, again, that's what this is about. It's about court corruption. It is about reprehensible actions like a rapist who raped 2 women, choked one within 30 seconds of being dead, that he's allowed to walk the streets while others report those types of crimes and they go to jail. This stuff is reprehensible, and we have to call it out. And again, these are many things happening. It's not one case. That's what's so astounding. That is what's so out of control here. Is it's not one case. If it was one case that dropped through the cracks, okay, Jesse Butler, it's case after case after case of this, and that's what you call a pattern. You call that a pattern, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I've noticed that you entered this grand jury petition 4 p.m. yesterday. There are multiple issues with regard to other than just Jesse Butler's case. But since we're talking about Butler's case, what impact might this grand jury petition have on the Butler case, if any?
Well, I think what this is going to do is you're going to see the people who were instrumental in allowing that to happen. And I don't think it's just one judge. I don't think it's just the district attorney. I think there's other judges involved in that. And what you're going to see is those people called to accountability. Why did they do this? What was their motive behind doing this? Was this misconduct? Was this abuse of court? And we possibly could get where they couldn't hold office. So I think this is really, really big. I think this could have a big impact. I think what the lawyer filed in Butler's case today for the victims could also have a huge impact.
Well, I like hearing about people in power facing consequences and being held to account. But I also, I think, speak for a lot of people when they say, but might it do anything to the Butler case, or is it really just about the system itself?
I don't think this grand jury is going to reverse what the Butler, it's hard to reverse the case once they've already pled it out. I think what that lawyer filed today saying, if I understand correctly, there's Marsh's law, there's some laws that were violated because the victims weren't brought in. The victims weren't given timely manner to show up and to protest or see what was done. So again, if that was done illegally or wrongfully, then they may be able to overturn that based on those things. I have a lot more hope that those actions would change that. There may be another victim that could come in and get new charges. That's a possibility. And so again, I think the grand jury is going to be about holding those people who did this, finding out why this has been allowed. And again, to show this as an extreme pattern, a continual pattern, not one case, many, many cases, whether it's DHS cases, whether it's rape cases, child abuse cases, all the cases that we see being mishandled and misconduct in this court system.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.